What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, to celebrate our 5,000 subscribers milestone, thank you guys. Thanks to each one of you, we were able to come this far. I wanted to do a quick Q&A. I asked the question on my Instagram below. I'll leave the link below. And a lot of you guys have sent a lot of different questions regarding the sports card market, my collection, and some personal questions as well that I want to respond back through this video. So let's get started. So one of the questions by Techno is, will the Lakers finish top 4 this season? Guys, you know I'm a huge Lakers and LeBron fan, but man, it has been a brutal season regardless. And here's my take on the Lakers. They really have to figure something out immediately, like ASAP. I think there were some rumors out that Russell Westbrook might be traded for another person because that chemistry with AD and LeBron isn't really working out. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I knew that kind of going in that this dynamic wasn't going to work out. But they just realized that, I guess. I think a lot of the fans already knew that this wasn't going to be a good ending ultimately, but I really hope that they will find a right fit. I think there are some really good prospects like Damian Lillard on the line. But essentially, if they don't figure something out before the All-Stars or right around All-Stars time, I just don't think that Lakers will be top 4 in the Western Conference and will not be competing for a title again this season. There's just a lot of young blood, a lot of good teams. I mean, not to mention the Golden State Warriors just killing it, especially Stephen Curry. And of course, Suns and Jazz in the West, that's making this really competitive. So I really hope that they do. But will the Lakers beat out some of these really amazing teams and be in the top 4 going into playoffs? I am not sure. Just being realistic as a Laker fan. Next question is from Local Card Collector. Person asks, do you believe that if F1 prices spike too fast, they will suffer a huge crash like NBA Top Shot? There's 2 points to that I want to respond. One, the price actually hasn't spiked too fast, in my opinion. Yes, the box prices have gone from $4 to $7 to $1,200 to $1,500, now $2,000 roughly. And that might seem like a really fast spike in price, but it was actually over a longer duration of time versus NBA Top Shot. I think it really saw the huge spike in January of this year versus F1. I think this is now like a 6-7 months thing, and of course that's not long time, but I do think that the spike is sort of spread out over a longer period of time. And will it kind of experience that crash that NBA Top Shot did? So fundamentally, one of the reasons why I believe that NBA Top Shot experienced that fall, hard crash we call, was due to their misunderstanding or misdistribution of supply. So they knew that there was a huge demand going into NBA Top Shot. It was all the packs waitlist were being sold out. I mean, there were, I think, maybe 1 to even like 1,000 people ratio of winning a pack, things like that. So they decided to pump the market with just almost an infinite amount of supply of packs and moments that couldn't really keep up with the demand. I think that rarity, that chase factor is always important in new markets. And good thing for F1 is that the supply can't be changed in the middle of the year. Once Topps releases a 2020 Topps Chrome set, unlike TCG, they don't go and reprint another version of 2020 Topps Chrome in order and make that supply of cards bigger. So 2020 is already fixed, that those number of cards out there is already fixed, and now we're waiting on 2021 releases to come out, hopefully sometime in January of 2022. So, to answer your question directly, I don't think that it will experience that kind of crash, because the fundamental reason for NBA Top Shot kind of crashing in value and price was because of the miscalculation of supply and demand and the timing of those things, and the over pump of supply into the market overnight. So F1 market, of course, can crash as well. Sports card market can crash, just like crypto can crash, NFT can crash, stock market can crash, housing market can crash. A lot of these markets can crash, but I don't think that this is a apples to apples comparison with NBA Top Shot. Next question is from J Sut Card. I've been talking to you for a while, so thanks for the question. Any thoughts on sport ticket? So sports tickets, is not a card. It doesn't have like a player on there. It's not a sort of like a licensed product from these big manufacturers like Topps, Panini, Leaf, etc. It's literally a ticket, a stub that you receive going to a game and whatnot. I think, collecting sports tickets is a very cool idea. It has a huge underlying sort of metadata or meta meaning to it. It represents a game that Steph Curry debuted in, or it represents a ticket or to a game where Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl championship. Things like that. There's a lot of meaning attached to the ticket, so I can definitely see scenarios of those values going up. But I need to do more homework in that, just kind of purely understanding how much demand is out there, what's the potential sort of market cap of this industry. I think historically, we have seen tickets being the primary way of entering into games and whatnot, but I definitely foresee a future. I mean, this is already happening, right? When you go to a basketball game, a baseball game, whatnot, you're using QR codes on your phone, on your mobile phone devices to enter into the game. And eventually down the line, this is where NFT kind of comes in. There will be these non-fungible tokens attached to these sort of like BTS's first concert, or like an artist's, special concert, where they attach that and sell those special valuable moments and experience with the NFT. And so I would be a little bit cautious about that meaning attached to the sport ticket itself. However, I think it's a really, really cool concept. And if I find something that I really, really jive well with, for example, if it was, ticket to LeBron James's high school game where they won their first championship, nationally, or David Beckham's debut game ticket, things like that, I think I would jive really well with, and maybe decide to buy a couple of those kind of ones that are significant to me. But as of right now, I need to do a little bit more studying on that. Next question is from NP Sports Cards 1. What's up, Niam? Niam asks, how much do you make from sports cards versus your salary percentage-wise? This is a very interesting question because I have never looked at it this way. Right on top of my head, so my salary, I think here is referring to my sort of full-time job versus sort of the gains that I kind of get from sports cards every year. And granted, I've only done this for 2 years, so it's not a very long period to observe from sports cards gain perspective. But I would say it's less than 10%. So what I make from sports cards in the total pie of my profit is less than 10% of the total pie, if that makes sense. Next question. These questions are amazing. I think I'm going to keep some of them and answer them in a later video because I can go really deep into them. Chris Arrow 12, what's up, Chris, asked, what is something you look forward to the most next year? Honestly, for me, I think personally, I really want to go travel to East Asia. That's where I'm from. That's where my family is. So I really want to visit Korea, Japan, and spend time with family and get to kind of rejuvenate and get back to the right mindset. And next year, I really hope to make it out to a Formula One race.
And it's lights out and away we go!
I know there's one in Miami, Florida in May. I'm in the West Coast here in Los Angeles. So, Miami is not something that's close by. And, initially I really wanted to get the tickets to the Miami game, especially it's a opener. They've never raced there. It's a new track and it's, obviously USA, so I don't have to travel abroad for it. But the tickets sold out before the day it came for me to get off the wait list. I was on the wait list for, I think, Wednesday drop, but the tickets were already sold out by Tuesday, so the demand was just absolutely insane, I'm sure. So what I'm trying to do right now is plan out a way to go to a F1 race abroad, whether that's Australia, Singapore, Japan. Those will be sort of the region that I would focus on. Europe is also really far from Los Angeles, and I have family here that I need a lot of coordination with, so that's what I'm really hoping for, but we'll see if that actually happens. Last question for today's video, I think the video is running kind of late, is from Carlos De La Torre Jr. What's up, Carlos? Carlos says, how can the hobby attract more women to collecting? This is a very interesting question, and it's probably going to be something that Sam and I from Women of the Hobby will address at the Mint Collective happening in January in Vegas. If you don't know about the Mint Collective conference, make sure to check them out. It's going to be an amazing time with, you know, just industry thought leaders, just sharing about the future of the hobby, current state of the hobby, and how we can kind of all contribute to make it better. So first off, you know, what I think would attract more women to the hobby is purely just knowledge and awareness. I don't think that 99% of women out on the street that we meet knows that this sort of sports card collecting hobby exists. I'm sure some of them are, or majority of US women are aware that there's this, you know, culture of baseball cards and whatnot, but that historically has always been a very manly, you know, boy, son, you know, kind of activity and hobby that they shared in a family. And this is precisely the reason why I began this YouTube channel, was to kind of make it more known, right? Less awkward for a woman to collect when they see someone on YouTube talking about sports cards, but she is a female. Things like that. So like a good comparison is historically Asian Americans weren't really represented in Hollywood even 10-20 years ago. Historically, Asian Americans played mostly the roles of, you know, not being able to speak English, and, you know, a foreigner came into US and they're, you know, not really speaking English in the role, but they're always speaking either Chinese or Japanese or Korean in it, things like that, until I think like even like Sandra Oh coming on, you know, Grey's Anatomy. I think that was like very shocking to me, and like Lost as well, like to see someone who looks like me playing a huge role in a major Hollywood TV series. So in comparison to, I'm not saying that I'm Sandra Oh or anybody like that, but just making it more kind of normal, all right? Normalizing the fact that women can collect sports cards and women do it well as well. And I'm really here to support the woman collecting sort of velocity in any way possible. You know, if it's making more videos, I'll do it. If it's going and speaking to people, I'll do it. If it's giving out cards, I would do it. And I think that, you know, the first step for that all of us can do is to encourage those around you who are not male to just say like, hey, have you thought about collecting your favorite soccer player, or, you know, collecting your favorite basketball player's cards? It doesn't have to be a woman sports athlete, it could be a men's sports athlete too. So I think it's just getting that awareness out there and like encouraging, you know, that 1 degree and 2nd degree at a time, and really just being encouraging to anyone around us to get into the hobby and check it out. Alright, so those were some really long answers to some of the questions you guys sent. I have about like 30 more questions to go through, but I think I'll save them for next time. But thanks guys again for all your viewership, all your subscriptions, all your loves, all your comments and likes, and all the, you know, constructive criticism and feedback as well. It's been an incredible journey. I never thought that, you know, 2 years ago that I would have a YouTube channel, that I would be kind of engaging with an audience like you guys in real life. And so really thankful, and let's get to that 10,000 subscribers. Let's see when we get there. I really don't have a goal. I don't chart things out. I don't have like, I want to get here by this point kind of thing for this, because it's a hobby. It's a hobby that I love, and I don't, you know, want to set goals and, you know, be stressed about it or like strategize against it, but really just have fun and help as many people as I can along the way and have fun together. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. That was awesome.